Hey folks, welcome to the farm. It's almost feeling spring-like. Sounds like spring with these lambs. Today we are getting a bit of, I won't say we're getting fencing done because we've been and done that, but we are finishing off some much needed elements of the farm, mainly gates. I've got a bit of help coming tomorrow, but to make the most of that I need to get everything where it should be distributed around the fields. This morning I was down here with the digger getting some tidying up done. I was just clearing this corner here. Needs to be more of a sweeping bend, and there was some old nettles and dead hedging and stuff there, so that's going to be replanted. But this is our first stop. You can see, even with this pretty long trailer, that is alright, I didn't have to go quite that wide because I had the digger there, but as you can see, that, even with a wide trailer and the digger in the way, that's a nice improvement because I can swing around really easily. This fencing we did quite a while back. I think it might have been 2 winters ago, and I brought some of the soily stuff and the stone down out of the barn. It might be taken away and used elsewhere, but this is a really good corner of the field for a bit of a handling area, and although it's not going to be a proper hard standing, that was just somewhere where I could spread that out to get it nice and level. But also because of where those pylons are, it didn't really make sense to put our new herbal lay and cultivate all the way around here. Instead, I'm going to actually fence up to the pylons and across and make the most of this corner. I'm going to put a gateway here. I think there used to be one looking at maps. So I've got 2 new Creo posts to go either side. It means the strainer is going to have to move to the other side of the gate, and we need to pull a gate out. And I think I've got a spare one down in the next field. So we can bring that back, and that'll be a future project to get done myself. But if whilst the tractor's here, I can get Tom to put those 2 posts in. No, I've just splashed some stagnant water on myself and it absolutely stinks. Right, spare post just in case we need it. And then we've got those 2 big stinkers over there. Don't want to touch it. Right, on to the next one. We're still dealing with our deep ruts. It's just about manageable with the truck, especially when it's dry, but I am looking at improving that. Of course, like everything, that's going to need planning consent or at least prior approval. But this video is a bit different. This video is going to give you my kind of experiences so far on fencing materials, and that's mainly centered around species of timber, or at least the treatment that they've had. So we've used just about everything you could possibly use on the farm so far, but that's because I like trying new things and experimenting. It's more interesting for videos. And we started out with creosote. That was over in the secret meadow the other side. Very damp there, that ground in the winter, and I thought creosote, from when I went to look at all the timber posts, that was the slowest grown timber I could find to look at, and that's why we went with it. Now it's been up since a few months after we moved here, and I've had no problems at all with it. Of course I haven't been digging up the posts, but it is a strong option. But of course it comes to the negative in that it's just coated in stinking horrible black tar, and the better they are, the worse they are as far as for the environment. So after that, and using up the rest of the pallet, we decided to stop using creosote posts. All right, we'll come back to our fencing in a minute. This morning I came down with the digger and I just cleared this area a little bit, mainly because I need that gate to be able to open. So this is kind of a bonus paddock. This is where the track went off to the left. We ended up with this triangle in the corner, and rather than just throwing a load of trees in there and forgetting about it, it's actually quite a handy place to have smaller areas fenced. whether it's for separating animals, for keeping rams separate, for weaning, yeah, anything like that. So for that purpose, we did decide to put a gate here, and it's wider than it needs to be. It's a 12-foot gate, but I just bought a big batch of secondhand 12-foot gates, so that's why I'm using that one. And yes, I should have a slammer this side. The gate post's in, but I think it should close nicely onto the end of this strainer. So for this one, we need, I'm pretty sure I just rubbed creosote on my eye. Gosh, that's painful. Right, we need a drive-in and a bolt and a field latch. That one can go that end. They can go there. And because of that gap, we'll rail that. I should have a rail, albeit secondhand, because it was used elsewhere around the pigs. So there's probably enough in that. 1, 2, 3. I'll bring another piece. Oh. So that is another reason that I've gone off creosote. It might last, but man, it's horrible to deal with. You get it all over your hand. As the knocker hits it, it squirts, and now even this stuff that's been sat for 2 years in a pile, I've just got on my eye. It's agony. I should probably be washing it off immediately. Maybe add it on my hand again, and it feels like chilly. Well, the lambs are everywhere right now. Go on. Oh, just... Oh, and now all I can smell is stagnant water on my top. Okay. This is our next gateway. Some of you might remember the episode with Ben when he came to look around the farm, and he said you can judge a farm by its gate.
So, interesting enough, I've just written a chapter of my book, and it's called The Hanging Gate Syndrome.
We've got a collection of these.
I am of an opinion that, I'll be absolutely honest, one of the biggest indicators of a farm for me is how their gates hang.
And we had this big rickety, old rusty gate here that you could barely open. Anyway, it's done now. Well, it's not done. It's going to be done tomorrow. Fly in my throat. Not going to plan today, is it? Now we've got the problem that the shearlings are in this field, and I don't want them to get through this gateway. It's not really a gateway yet. Alright, so the plan for here is we've got to put hardcore down in our gateway here. That's part of the grant stuff from a couple of years back. So I've scraped off a lot of it. There was a big dip here, but we'll put the membrane down. I've got 2 or 3 dumper loads of type 1 I can bring down. We'll compact all that, and this will be a nice clean gateway. Lovely big gate post here, and the gate ready. So we just need a slammer and some hardware. Latch. If you're buying these auto latches, make sure you check the welds in the shop, because I've had 2 now snap. They're just not very well built, but these top sections here can snap on this weld and then they become completely pointless. But that one's okay. One, 2, and a slammer. So these are purchased as slammers, but they are probably big enough to hang a gate on. I should have ordered 5 to 6 really, but a slammer is just a name for the post that the gate closes onto or slams against. Now the next timber I used was this stuff, normal tannalized treated timber. When it comes to the stakes, you can either get peeled stakes, which are more natural, sort of follow the contours of the wood, the bark has just been peeled off them, or you can get machined posts, which are spherical. They've been machined into a circular post and normally incised, which is where they're kind of poked, a bit like looks like a meat tenderizer or something, but little spikes go into them, and that helps the treatment get further in. Now, I didn't feel, I went for those because creosote, I couldn't find any creosote ones in stock, and I also couldn't find any of the better sort of treated redwood type posts. And it was a bank holiday weekend and I had to buy them, and in the end I bought the machined ones because all the posts around this farm are just that, they're just treated machined posts, and they've lasted at least 20 years. Fortunately our soil is fairly good up on the hills and it doesn't really rot out posts that quickly. Anyway, I ordered 4 whole packs of machined posts, and I've got probably a third of those still left, maybe a bit less. And they're fine. We use them all around the field. They look quite smart, they're regular, and they were fine. That's what we used for quite a big expanse of fencing around the paddock, the hill field, the goat bank, all those areas. And the main reason I moved away from that afterwards, apart from wanting to try something different, was because the next lot of fencing was where soil conditions weren't as great. For example, down here around the lake, it's only a small body of water, but because of where the water level sits, it's actually a little bit high at the moment. I've just unblocked the overflow yesterday. The chances are some of these posts are kind of in damp ground. Now, if I had used the normal machined ones, there's a chance that they wouldn't have lasted very well. Interestingly, the posts we pulled out around here were treated and they were absolutely solid. So these are the actual posts that were sat in damp ground and probably been in for a few decades. However, treatment back when these were made was a lot better slash worse. You know, better for the timber, probably worse for the environment, and they lasted longer. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with these, which is why I've kept them, because I can use them for something. No post is equal, and you've got to decide the right post for the job you're working on. So for the lake, we didn't actually want a metal gate, although having propped that one there, it doesn't look too bad, and that probably would be okay in the whole scheme of things. But we thought a nice wooden gate would look nicer, bearing in mind we've done posts ready for post and rail in the future. But I've gone ahead and bought a normal 5-bar gate. Now, there's obviously no vehicle access, it's just for the little boat, for people to get in and out, and potentially for that dredging boat to come back if we want to do any more weed cutting in future years. So that's the reason why we've gone for an 8-foot gate, because it's sufficient for what we need. But that's a 12-foot opening. They look far too big even for a gate post. Interestingly, you always think of old posts being much slower growing timber. This has only got 1, 2, 5 growth rings in it. This is actually pretty fast growing timber, but obviously the treatment has helped. Now, I just installed the hardware on that gate, and in hindsight I probably should have hinged it the other way, but it should be alright. So it's quite a lot smaller, obviously being 8-foot rather than the 12-foot metal one, but by the time you've got a chunky post in there, there's only about 300mm between it and the strainer there, so it might be just a nice few rails up there, and that'll tidy it off. So obviously we switched to robinia for the latest load of fencing, and financially that is not a massive amount different from creosote, and we compared everything, and I think it worked out cheaper than creosote and about the same as Clipex. Now, Clipex is one fencing I haven't used. It is a galvanized metal fencing. It's okay, and it's very long lasting, it's durable, and it's really easy to install in that you don't need big heavy knockers. but I know people say it mellows in to the surroundings. I'm just a little bit reserved about that. There's elements, there are places around the farm which I could have used it, and I still may use it along the brook the other side, but down the track, which is more like an avenue now by the time we kind of use it to get up and down from the fields, and we're going to be looking at it from the house, I kind of like the traditional look of metal, of wooden posts. So the posts you can see all the way around this field, all the way around the lake, they're all robinia, which is a European hardwood. It's also known as false acacia, or in America it is known as locust wood, I think, black locust. It's great. It's really hard, very hard, like annoyingly hard to work with, but nicely slow grown. You can see here the benefit being that unlike a treated timber or creosote timber, every time you cut it you're exposing bare wood, which really shortens the life of it. You know, every mortise, every hole for drilling bolts through, and this stuff is the same all the way through because it's not treated and doesn't need to be treated. It's very, very durable. You can do what you want with it. You can shape it, cut it. I'm going to cut a lot of the tops of these just to even them out, and I don't need to worry about it at all. They'll just be as durable as they were when they arrived. Right, so we need that for this end. So we need what came in the bag. It was the drive-in. It's probably those two, I think. I'm also going to put a drive-in latch and bolt there. Now the final one I can't really get to, certainly not with the trailer, because it's up where the field goes onto the lane. I'll see if I'm going to remember to go there. I might go there now after the school run, just to check that gate. If it's any good, we'll leave it in place. We'll just hang it onto the new post. But we do have that gate there which can be relocated, but we do need a slammer up there from memory. Have we just let the sheep through? They've all just run. I seriously did not want that to happen. If all the sheep are together now, it's not the end of the world as far as inbreeding. There's no ram or anything in there, but it's not ideal because I don't want the lambs down here, and the ground that the other sheep are on with the lambs won't support those 12 shearlings as well. And you also, everyone is going to want it to be as durable as possible and last as long as possible. So I think of the three we've used, my pick would probably be robinia, unless I was going for a really neat fence of kind of pony paddocks or something, and I wanted it super straight with rails on everything on it, and in which case machined posts of some sort would be better, simply because they are so rustic, the robinia. Oh, no, they haven't gone. Okay. Oh sugar, they have gone. Oh no. Oh, okay, great. So I can see one shearling through there. Gosh, she's annoying, that shearling. And then one lamb through here with its mum. Tell you what, just realised we've got family coming this afternoon, and they've got 3 kids. They'll love a bit of sheep sorting. I'll leave that as their activity. That's why we need gates that shut, and ideally a child to open them. Steady. What? Maggie did alright for once. Keeps you fit, this sheep malarkey. So, where are we now? We've decided on our fencing, and of course, if you'd watched the channel any of the fencing we've done, it's all been high tensile. We've always used tornado, high tensile fencing, avoiding barbed wire where possible, using electric where possible. The only, I guess, thing that we've changed is changing from a hinge joint fence to the stiff fencing, which is the Taurus knot. No, don't go. Go on. Such a brave little sausage. We weren't meant to be down there today, but it is such nice grass. It's just a bit soft underfoot. Well, I'll let them have a few hours and we'll round them up tonight. That is the best grass on the farm right now, so we better let them have something. Let's see if we can get them past. Go on, lammies. Good girl. Go on then, you can go now. Yeah, these two little tiddlers, they're pretty thin, but hopefully they'll be alright. Go on, you can go past now. Right, final job. We've got an empty trailer now. We've got a load of scrap wrought iron and steel gates to stick on the trailer and take up. And then also this colossal lump of concrete, which, I mean, it's a gate post, steel gate post with the pins on it. And I feel like that could just be dumped in the ground and it's just an instant gate post, because that's hundreds of kilos. But I'm gonna have to take it up, get the pecker on it and break it. All right, let's see how we get on. Only taken about 20 meters. It's me, Maggie. It's me. Go on, silly dog. Maggie, come on. Right, it's a busy and somewhat expensive day today. We've got the contractor here to subsoil this field here prior to the herbal lay going in, and then Tom and Rob have come to help finish off the fencing like you saw me getting ready for yesterday. So I'm going to drop off some posts. We're going to go and check if they need anything else down there, but for now let's let the guys in to do the field. That is big tractor. Oh, that thing could eat Audrey for breakfast. It could eat Audrey twice, probably. Come on, no feeding in the road, please. Oh, I'm stood in all that sheep muck.
Wanna see?
Oh, now we're stopping for a wee. So it looks like they started here. There's a load of stones to go down under this gate. Okay, now shut it before they escape. Oh, they found the dog. Different dog. She's doggy.
Yeah, we haven't done no fencing yet. We're just
No.
making best use of the gates.
Cool, so that is one gate at the end of the track done, and the gate
What is this?
to the lake pretty much done. So they're going to finish the one onto the lane. Then there's a few, that is saddle soap. Yeah, put it back in there. That's for our sheepskin rugs. Right, someone's going to need to do some lamb wrestling or moving. Can you try and get them all through the gate, Rosa?
Yeah, sure.
No, go to the left, up by the hedge, go by the hedge, other way. Oh, what's that shit? Rosa, you need to get the other side of them. No, go by the hedge. No, Rosa, stop. Oh.
Rosa,